Chip Morales, Jeff Kastner, paging Jeff Kastner. And welcome back to the show court here at the Washington Athletic Club. My name is Dave Vincent. Back in the booth is Dave Fink, who will break to in a second as we get ready for this last round, this last match here of this round of 8 between Alan Garner and Charlie Shanks. It's been a very long race season. Both of these players played the majority of every single one of these race stops. Charlie Shanks came in as one of the unranked players this year. In fact, he was not ranked at all before the season started, and Charlie has made it all the way to number 5 in the rankings. First met Charlie when he lived near Belfast. Went up there and spent the night at your house, and Charlie is a great ambassador for handball in Ireland. He is coming all the way over here to the United States, dedicated himself to the professional game. We want to thank Charlie Shanks for all he has done for handball to cross the ties from Ireland to the United States, and also dedicating himself to the sport of handball. Now living in New Jersey, put your hands together for Charlie Shanks. Alan Garner lives in San Antonio, Texas. He's had a lot of great wins. Alan Garner is here as the number 4 seed, and he's been a staple on the Pro Tour for many years. Still just a young 27 years of age. Put your hands together. For the blonde bombshell, Alan Garner. Let's go back to Dave Fink. Dave Fink has more in the booth. This one's coming up next. Stick with us.
Thanks, Dave. This is the number 4 seeded Alan Garner, the blonde bombshell, taking on Charlie Shanks. These guys have played twice thus far this season. Charlie Shanks taking out Alan Garner at the US Open. Alan was the defending champion there, and then Alan beating Charlie Shanks in the drop-down 5th place final at race stop number 3 in Tucson. The US Open was Charlie Shanks' breakout professional event, making it all the way to the finals, defeating Alan the blonde bombshell Garner in the round of 8, and then validating that win with a win over Luis Moreno in the semifinals. Came up just 2 points short against his countryman Robbie McCarthy in the final, but that result combined with a couple of other really good results for Charlie Shanks catapulted him to number 5 in the rankings.
We have
that's
our
where he's seated
final
here at
match
this
of
event.
the day. Serving will be Charlie Shanks, and receiving will be Alan Garner. Good luck, guys.
Charlie and Alan
Okay.
just played
0 serving 0.
about a month and a half ago in the finals of the NYAC Invitational. It was Charlie
Football.
Shanks winning in 2 games there.
Football. Your left foot, Charlie, the whole.
Charlie's got that amazing serve down the right side, hooks it both ways,
Football,
hits
second
an ace
serve.
there, but is called for a foot fault. So quickly that point taken off the board, but Charlie puts it right back on with a beautiful back wall kill as we welcome back in
1
Dave Vincent.
serving 0.
Thank you, Dave. It's very difficult to make the announcements on the show court and then have to run up 3
2
flights of
serving
stairs
0.
and
Actually only
be
one.
Point.
and be
Solid
so
good.
heavy. Alan Garner appealing that serve right there that Charlie just cracked out over the short line. This ball will not be overturned.
I believe that serve, Dave, was well over the short line.
Well, I'm quite surprised that,
3, serving 0.
that Allen even appealed it, but then again, it doesn't hurt to try.
Allen's off to a very slow start here, Dave. There's some question marks concerning the blonde bombshell here this week, Dave,
4, serving
regarding
0.
his motivation.
Short ball.
Alan Garner has been a little
Second
bit frustrated
serve.
with his game over the last couple of months, Dave. He's said he just hasn't played as well as he expects himself to play. His really only good result this season for him, Dave, was a finals appearance at the last stop at the Los Angeles Athletic Club.
Well, Allen just told me courtside when I was standing down there, he said, I'm winning this. How do you feel? And he said, I feel really good right now.
0,
But
serving
then again,
4.
who really knows? He's down 0-4 to start this
Foot
one
fault.
off to a game to 15. Fred Lewis, you know, it's when you're playing to 15 and 0-4, it could be something like 0-8 or
Second.
0-11, you know.
Well, you know, Allen does have a very good serve, so it won't take very long if he can get his serve going to get back into this game. What happened there?
It's interesting, Fred. Charlie missing a back wall setup off the Alan Garner serve, but
Wasn't that a point?
It
Yes.
is. It's just not updated on the
okay.
scoreboard yet. 2-4.
1, serving
Excuse
4.
me, 1-4 is the score.
interesting, Fred, that you would say that Alan
Short.
Garner has a good serve. He's known for having a pretty mediocre serve. He does have that
Second.
soft underhand paddle type of serve.
Well, it's just like Dave Chapman. It's unimpressive, but it gets you points.
That also gets you points. The offhand back wall revolving door flat rollout.
Is that really an offhand for Alan Garner?
Well,
2, serving 4.
that's an argument for another time.
Fred Lewis, who is the greatest two-hand artist you've ever seen? Somebody who says that they're right-handed but really is left?
I'd like to, is this a trivia question about what Fred would say?
Yes, he's going to say Jimmy Jacobs.
He's
but
going to
what-
say Dennis Hoflander.
Okay, Fred?
I thought
Nani
you wanted
Alvarado.
it. Sorry.
He just said that because you
Senior.
said Dennis Hoflander.
Didn't want to give me the satisfaction,
serving
just like
2.
Luis Cordova, when I thought I won that second game.
You actually did, but he didn't give it to you.
I will never speak to him again. If he's at my dinner table, I will walk out and I will walk home.
What is Pittsburgh from here? About, what, 1,800 miles?
When I meant home, I meant back to the hotel room.
Oh, okay. All right, I get you.
5, serving
Sort
2.
of like Forrest Gump going across the desert. That's what I'm envisioning here. 5-2 is the score with Charlie Shanks up.
Bad bounce off the back wall for Charlie, and there are some bad bounces where you see the cement turn into glass. A lot of balls, Dave, pop straight up there, but they pop up so slowly that you actually have time to adjust, but it's still not exactly
6,
the shot that
serving
you
2.
anticipated.
I thought there was no such thing as a bad bounce.
Well, we don't play bad bounces, but they do happen.
Oh.
Well, then every shot that Luis Moreno hits would be a bad bounce since he's hopping everything.
I think we should come up with a new term. Instead of
2,
calling it
serving
bad bounce.
6.
Call it what?
Hold it.
You gonna put a lid on that jar, Fred Lewis?
Well, I think we need to have a conference about
Okay.
it. Let's have a board meeting.
Well, we can have about a 1/4
2
board
serving
meeting right
6.
here. 2 serve 6. I don't think Alan Garner's got a great serve, and I think that's the thing that has kept him back. Now, if he would get a serve like Nadi Alvarado, or even what Paul Brady's serves have been like as of late, I think that Alan Garner would have a national championship by now.
6, serving
Or
2.
at least a world championship if he had a great serve. Instead, he's got that sort of
Short.
mediocre serve.
Well, I don't know. I've seen him play when his serves were, you know, pretty good. He did
Second
win the
serve.
U.S. Open a couple years ago. Don't you count that?
We actually don't count that here in the webcast booth.
We do, but I don't think he got it because of his serve. He's got one of the best back wall games.
He got it by winning the longest match in the history of handball. That was
3 hours.
a little over 3 hours in the final there.
2, serving 6.
There's a shot of Charlie's lovely girlfriend. She's been Dave, to as many stops this season as you and I. She's got a perfect attendance record. She'll be getting an award for that at the
victory
players'
party.
victory party.
They call it the players' banquet here, and I said, you know, we call that the victory party, and
They call it hinders here in this game, or what?
Yeah, didn't you see the end of the last match? The last point?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
how do you feel about that last point of the
2
last
serving
match?
6.
I don't know if you were sitting courtside.
It
and
was,
if you
it was
watched
very painful.
Okay.
Very painful.
Well, at least you acknowledge it. The top players get the calls. That's how it works.
If I'd known that, I just wouldn't have come. Would have been a lot easier for me, believe
A
me.
lot cheaper, actually. And there's a timeout called
Timeout.
from Charlie
Where's timeout,
Shanks.
Charlie?
Earlier today, we actually talked to Charlie Shanks. We'll cue up his interview that we had earlier today. In just a few minutes, we'll talk to Charlie Shanks from a pre-recorded interview. Okay. We have Chelsea, who we will be interviewing at some point during this live broadcast. Let's get Chelsea on a wireless mic. Oh, Fred, you're on it. Never mind. It's okay, Fred.
So what motivates me to play handball is if it's like getting up in the morning and eating breakfast. You know, it's something I've done since a very young age. So if I wasn't able to get up and play handball in the morning, that'll be a huge chunk of my life missing.
That's Charlie Shanks talking about the motivation to play the game.
And Charlie Shanks actually not exaggerating there, Dave. He actually wakes up every morning and plays handball.
In the booth with us, we have a special guest, somebody who's never played handball, somebody who's never seen handball
I've seen it before.
before. Chelsea, who's also obviously she's obviously not colorblind. Chelsea,
Hi. I can't hear you.
you don't really have to hear
Oh,
me.
okay.
Short.
You're watching handball here at the Washington Athletic Club. What brings you here, first of all? Secondly, what do you think of this
Second serve.
handball match that you're watching right now and what you've seen earlier?
Okay. Yeah. What brought me here? My friends are working out, and this looked more fun than watching them shoot basketball.
Okay.
And I think this is awesome. They're
6
super duper
serving
fast,
3.
And they're really fit.
Now, I know that you think this might be just a modeling show here. We've got the blonde bombshell
Short.
Right.
receiving serve, and Charlie Shanks is actually
That's
a
initially
year-
why I started watching.
Second
I was
serve.
Like, hey.
Okay. When you say initially watching, were you watching 15 minutes ago, by any chance?
No.
Oh, you weren't. Okay.
I think I've watched maybe like 5.
7 serving
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
Well, Charlie Shanks is from Ireland. He's serving the ball, and Alan Garner's from Texas, and he's a
Oh.
fan favorite.
Right.
He's the number 4 seed versus number 5 seed, so this is going to be a great match. And Chelsea, you came here to watch some friends play basketball. How'd you get through the front door without wearing like a sports suit? Do they just let you come in?
I just like gave someone a high five,
That always works.
and they're like, I think she must belong here.
Yeah, that worked for me at the DMV the other day. No,
3
no, I
serving
didn't. I
7.
just
Just to
made
let
that
you
up.
know, Chelsea, he's going for 5 laps, and then he's going to kick you out of this booth. So the longer you want to stay in here, the more you want to make him work for those laps.
Okay, sorry. That wasn't funny
The
at all.
bad
Try
thing
harder.
You're already at 2.
Try harder.
Dave Fink already
7
knows me.
serving 3.
7 serves 3. We're going to 15. That's a nice left-handed kill right there from Charlie Shanks.
Now, Chelsea,
Right.
I know you haven't watched much handball, but that's actually his
8
offhand.
serving
I don't know
3.
if you're right-handed or left-handed.
Right.
But imagine going in there with your left hand and having the accuracy and the power to aim the ball 1 inch high from 30 feet away and hitting that spot on a dime. That's what Charlie Shanks just did.
Yeah, no, these guys are amazing. This is probably the best thing I could have done after selling shoes all day
Was that at Nordstrom or was
at
that
Nordstrom.
I was thinking Forever 21. Okay, you got me on
Actually,
that.
Oh,
that's
shame
First
on
time
you.
out.
not only is that
Alan,
insulting
1 minute.
to Chelsea,
Shame on you.
but they also don't sell shoes there.
Actually, that's so
do you
insulting
know?
it turned her hair pink. That's how insulting that was.
I'm surprised you know this.
This isn't my first rodeo, as they say.
I wish it was, actually.
It's mine.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Charlie Shanks versus Alan Garner. Charlie, of course, over here we have Chelsea, who's wearing a beautiful outfit from Nordstrom's. How far away is that located here?
It's like 5 blocks away.
So you walked here?
I walked here.
Yeah, I mean, why?
Yeah,
why put
no,
up
it's
the money?
easy walk.
Now, Chelsea, while we have Dave on camera here, what would you do as far as a makeover goes? Because I know that you've got the rail there at Nordstrom, and I
Wait,
think
we have the rail.
Right.
What would I do? Let's see. I think you might just need like a little color, like maybe like a little cool
Like right
pocket scarf
right here?
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to tie, like, right? No.
No.
do you have any
No.
sort of dry fit type of dress clothes? Because he does have a tendency to sweat just a little
You
bit
know,
while
we
he's
don't, but that is a really
peeling
good
oranges.
idea. Super
Okay.
good idea. You should patent that like right now. This is live though,
The
so
dry
someone
fit
probably already is doing
under
it.
under. I mean, what would you do here for the?
For what? For the sweat?
No, I'm not sweating really. I mean,
I saw him change his shirt after he peeled an orange last
Well, you
week.
did say that that guy was cute, so he might be making you sweaty. I don't know.
that's good. It's true, but it's good. And there's a nice left-handed smack from Alan Garner, whose shirt says that he loves big ball. What does that make you feel like, Chelsea, when your friends are out here mocking you and you're already on the live
3
broadcast?
serving 9.
It's awkward.
It's not my first rodeo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not
In
heard
that
that
sense.
before.
Touche.
Anyway, as we wrap up this broadcast here, what is your impression of handball
4
and the
serving
spectacle
9.
that you see here compared to basketball and the friends that you have?
I think, how does it compare? I don't know. It makes me want to play, I think. It looks like something that I think I could do. Not this good, but I could do it.
Okay. That's either a good thing or a bad thing when someone says they think they can do it.
No, but like it's like basketball. Like I can't shoot a basketball.
9
But this,
serving
I think
4.
I could like
You think you can hit a ball to a
slowly,
front
like
wall, right?
slow-
Yeah.
A grandma version of this. I think I
Okay.
could probably. Right?
Okay, well, we're going to get some handball gloves on you and some goggles. And, we're gonna
And
throw
take
you
the
in court.
cameras.
Nice. Okay. I'm excited.
But we want to thank you for stopping by the booth.
Thank you for
And
letting me
watching.
stop by.
Handball.
Yeah.
This is
Handball.
Dave and Dave, and you
Chelsea.
have,
10
you have a great
serving
rest of
4.
your day.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Chelsea, just an innocent bystander walking by the booth here. Checking out handball for the very first time as Charlie Shanks gets his point, and now
4
Alan
serving
Garner back
10.
in here at 4-10.
Short.
That's a short ball. Alan's going to
He's appealing.
it.
I called it short.
It was short by 2 inches, Dave.
Both agree. Second serve.
Amidst all the talk about the rail and Forever 21 and Nordstrom, Dave, it's Charlie Shanks building a huge lead here. Charlie has just recently returned from a 2-week trip to Ireland. That wasn't just a vacation, Dave. He went over there to play some serious handball, got knocked out of the Irish Nationals in the first round, Dave. Surprisingly lost to Michael Finnegan in a tiebreaker.
5 serving 10.
That was coming off the heels of a big win for Charlie at the NYC Invitational. Charlie has the opportunity, Dave, to play a lot of quality players in New York City to prepare for these events. Played with the
6 serving 10.
charismatic and lovable John Iglesias last week. Also plays with Mike Schneider.
Thank you. Call. Seven serving 10.
You're at the score now at 7-10. Alan Garner serving here. This is the
Short.
last match of the night.
Second.
That's a shot that Allen usually makes.
The winner of this one will face Luis Moreno.
Luis looked very vulnerable today, Dave.
I agree with you.
10 serving 7.
Both these guys have wins over Luis Moreno this season. Only 3 guys have defeated Luis Moreno this season. These are 2 of them. The other guy being Nadi Alvarado.
11 serving 7.
Beautiful shot there from Allen. Allen has that ability, Dave, to combat power with his own power.
7 serving 11.
As you know, Dave, that's very difficult. The ball coming at you with so much pace on it and hop. Alan Garner's able to put just as much pace on it and lower.
And then Charlie right there capitalizes on bad court positioning from Alan Garner, and he strokes that one down the left wall with his left hand.
11 serving 7.
Allen should have ended the rally there with that pass off the return of serve, but Charlie neutralizes the rally here. That's very uncharacteristic hand air from Allen. You can go an entire tournament and not see Alan Garner make a hand air. Even on the shots, Dave, that he skips, they're generally hit very well. That shot was not hit well at all.
12 serving 7.
And Charlie makes a great adjustment on that ball in the back left corner as that ball squelched out on him, Dave, a little bit farther than he anticipated, but he just flicks it into the right corner.
13 serving 7.
And Charlie has led and dominated this match throughout. And Allen with another terrible hand air there, Dave.
Charlie Shanks now serving for game number 1.
14 serving 7.
Now, did Charlie take down Alan Garner in Atlanta?
No, Charlie defeated Allen at the U.S. Open.
That's right. Okay.
Allen was the defending champion there. And believe it or not, Dave, these guys are the 4 and 5 seeds, but they haven't matched up against each other in the main draw in any
7
tournament
serving
except
14.
for the U.S. Open. They did play for 5th place in Tucson, where Alan Garner won.
Just like a laser right there. That's 2 shots in a row that Allen's got that same height.
8 serving 14.
Score is 8-14, the blonde bombshell. Now finding that he's got something there with that Marco Chavez serve. No call from the referee there.
Charlie's not really known as a get artist, Dave, but he does make some great gets. He's very long. You don't see Charlie hitting the deck too often. And look at that length from Charlie Shanks. Played the corner beautifully there, Dave. Cut off the angle by moving at 45 degrees and then had the control over his body
14 serving 8.
to paddle that kill shot right in front of himself. Alan Garner will be kicking himself after losing that point. And Charlie goes for the crack. Big setup, though.
Wow.
First game.
And that's
3
all
minutes, guys.
ending the
3
game in
minutes.
style there, Dave. And that's what Charlie Shanks brings to the table. He's got the American sidearm swing, and he's got that modified Irish whip. And you need that Irish whip from time to time, Dave, as Charlie Shanks puts himself up against that left side wall. Couldn't take a full sidearm swing, but did have that modified Irish whip swing and flat rolled it.
You're watching the WPH Simple Green Race for 8,012 at the Washington Athletic Club. My name is Dave Vinson, alongside David Fink for this men's round of 8 quarterfinal match. Charlie Shanks and Alan Garner here courtside with that first one going to Shanks. He wins 15-8. As we'll have game number 2 coming up right around the corner. Tomorrow, it'll be the matchup of Luis Moreno versus the winner of this one, and Nate Alvarado versus Sean Lenning in the semis. That kicks off at 12 o'clock right here at the Washington Athletic Club. We'll have a break. We'll be back in just a bit. Stick with us at racefor8.com.
What motivates me to play this game? Mostly it's my competitive nature, and I just, more than anything, I love competing, and it's a sport that I'm really good at, and the fact that I'm competitive means that I think if I played a sport where I wasn't as good or I didn't have as much of a knack for it, it'd be really hard on me. It makes it easier that I'm good, and it's just such a great outlet for competitors.
That's a great interview right there with Alan Garner when we asked him what motivates you to play the sport of handball, and we see Alan Garner there. Dave, you know, we were talking about his motivation coming into this tournament. We sometimes get a little too close to the players and we find out some intel that the player might not be motivated or not motivated. We see that he didn't look like he was too motivated there for that match. He lost 15-8, and no offense to Charlie Shanks, who played what looked to be lights out, but do you find it sometimes that we're just a little too close to the players as fellow handball players or, you know, administrators of the Pro Tour?
Well, I am the pro player rep, so I thought it was my responsibility to have that kind of relationship with the players.
And do you have a comment about Alan Garner's motivation as we get into the server's box here?
Alan Garner is going through one of those spells, Dave, that I think almost every handball player that plays at a very high level has gone through, and that's just a little bit flat. It takes so much energy to play this game at a high level, to continue training year round. And sometimes you just need a mental break as well as a physical break. When you go out there, Dave, and you just don't have that freshness, you don't have that spring in your step, it's very hard to play as well as you want to play. And then the frustration sets in when you're not playing up to your expectations. And I think Alan Garner is going through that right now.
That was a great serve from Charlie Shanks, and Alan really couldn't do anything with it.
The loser of this match, Dave, will play Andy Nett, and that'll be in the first round of the fifth place playoff. I believe that will be webcasted.
Every match is.
Okay.
There's not one match that won't be. In fact, every single match from 1 through 8.
So when you play Chelsea tomorrow, you guys have a game.
3 serving
at
0.
What, 5?
Webcast.
Webcast, okay.
Yeah, live webcast.
Short.
I know that the pro players are getting on the court with some of the members here and some of the sponsors tomorrow morning. I don't think that'll be on the webcast. An amazing shot from Alan Garner, and Charlie Shanks picks it up, but I wonder, Dave, if Jake Peavy or Mark Burley goes out and throws batting practice to the fans the morning of his starts. He might. I don't know. I don't follow baseball.
It's not normal. It's not normal. But then again, these baseball players aren't eating hot dogs in the clubhouse and
they're not
getting drunk in the clubhouse.
Oh, they're not?
No, they're not.
No, baseball players don't like to drink. That's true. It's nothing but iced teas and lemonade for those great ball players. And Charlie Shanks looks like he's really here to win, Dave. He's moving and retrieving more than we're accustomed to seeing, and it's paying dividends as he's completely dominating Alan Garner, actually outscoring him 20-8 thus far through a game and 5 points in the second game. That, to me, Dave, shows me that Alan Garner maybe has not put in the court time. When you see a player of his caliber, a ball striker of his caliber, just completely miss-hitting balls, easy setups, Dave, off the bottom of his hand.
5 serving 0.
A lot like you, Dave, when you were in the groove in baseball, you knew exactly what part of the bat you were going to hit every ball on. You know, you get out of that groove and all of a sudden you're hitting the ball on the handle or off by the Louisville Slugger sign. Thought you were going to help me out there, but apparently you're just going to sort of let me drift and wallow. What's nice is that I actually have you on my side now.
Serving 0.
After you seeing the call that went against me, knowing what I did to come here to this event, even you have a little bit of empathy.
First time out, Alan. 1 minute.
For your arch enemy.
Alan Garner taking a quick timeout here. Charlie Shanks, let's go ahead and cue that second interview that we had with Charlie Shanks. We talked to him earlier today, at the Washington Athletic Club. I think that you were part of this, Dave, as you coordinated some of those interviews. Earlier today, we chatted with Charlie Shanks. It was a nice little sit-down meeting with all of the players in the race for 8, and we asked him how he prepared for the event. I know how we prepare in this broadcast booth. I know how you prepare for yours. So let's see what Charlie had to say.
So how have I prepared for this event? It's not like the US Open where it's the first event of the year, so you have 2 or 3 months to prepare for it in advance. Because this season you're basically playing a tournament every month, it's very difficult to have a block of training in there. So it's just a case of, just trying to stay in good condition, eating right, and playing, moderate practice matches, moderate intensity. Not pushing yourself too hard and not doing too little. So it's trying to find that balance.
That brings up a pretty good point there, as you see Charlie Shanks' lady friend wearing a engagement ring here courtside. That's some intel that I thought the player rep would probably share with us, but apparently didn't know. But Charlie Shanks here talking about, kind of the difference between preparing for a major tournament that he plays in Ireland, like the Senior Championship and the Irish Nationals. He knows when those dates are going to be, but this race for 8's been pretty brutal on these players who at times, Dave, you just recover from a real grueling tournament, let's say Atlanta or Salt Lake City, for example, and then 2 weeks later you're in Atlanta. That must have been pretty tough for you guys at times.
I think all these players are playing with some kind of little injury, whether it's minor or a little bit more than minor.
Zero serving 8.
Great to listen to Charlie Shanks talking a little bit about how he gets himself ready for these events. And Charlie Shanks was in great position to pick up that Alan Garner kill shot from 39 feet. Just barely mishitting that shot.
1 serving
there,
8.
as our folks at home get a shot of what you do most of the time here in the booth, which is texting. Didn't even know the camera came to us.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. It's nice to know that I was text messaging some IT technical issues with Jeff Kastner's mom.
There actually
Her name's
is
Laura.
a law against texting and webcasting. Similar to
1 serving
driving.
8 over.
What is that law?
Well, you just incurred a $150 fine.
Pretty brutal. Pretty brutal.
Two serving 8. Short. Second serve.
Alan Garner just looked like he might be creeping his way into this match, Dave, but another hander there
serving
with
2.
his left hand, and Charlie Shanks now back in the box. Charlie Shanks is one of those guys, Dave, you play and you just feel like if he gets in the server's box, he's going to score 3 or 4
9
points.
serving 2.
His serve is just that good. And let's not just limit his weapons to that serve, Dave, as he has an amazing two-handed offensive game. He's really an all-around complete player with a fantastic
10
serve.
serving 2.
Our referee thinking about calling a screen there, but Alan Garner, Dave, just being absolutely throttled here by Charlie Shanks.
11 serving 2.
Up until this season, Dave, Charlie Shanks had never defeated Alan Garner. They'd played in a couple really close matches. You'll remember that Casey Lawler Cup in San Francisco where Alan Garner defeated Charlie Shanks 11-7 in a tiebreaker. And then it was Alan Garner defeating Charlie Shanks at the Nationals in Austin, also in a close tiebreaker. Charlie turned the tide there at the US Open, coming back on Alan Garner after losing the first game and being down in the second, winning that in a tiebreaker, then defeating Alan in 2 games just a month ago
12
in New
serving
York.
2.
not sure, Dave, that I've ever seen the blonde bombshell this thoroughly outplayed.
2 serving 12.
I don't recall it, although Ricardo Diaz back in Texas beat him 21-0 in the second game.
Actually, that was the first game, but Allen came back and won that match. This is just a 2-game lopsided
12
thrashing
serving 2.
to this point. Charlie Shanks is just 3 points from putting the finishing touches on a virtuoso performance.
Make that 2 points.
Second timeout, 1 minute.
I'll say, Dave, that the first 5th place match is now become intriguing with Alan Garner and Andy Nett. You know, the way Andy Nett played today and the way Alan Garner's playing right now, you almost favor Andy Nett in that matchup.
Well, I actually do favor Andy in that matchup, and I also believe that I would favor Charlie Shanks in that matchup against Luis Moreno tomorrow if Charlie were to go on to get these final 2 points. You're watching the WPH Simple Green Race for 8 Players Championship, Seattle, Washington. We're at the WAC Handball facility here where they've got some amazing show courts. It's really the premier site for an event like this where they have paid customers that have filled up the stands coming in to watch handball as far away as New Orleans and Nashville, Tennessee, and some places in Canada as well flying down to watch these amazing handball matches that are here courtside.
I did receive some intel, Dave, that Sean Lenning has been down at these courts every day for the last 4 weeks, practicing, getting himself acclimated to this atmosphere. And I think that it's showing in his game. I didn't have an opportunity to watch his match today, but it was over very quickly. And I can only imagine that Sean Lenning was the Sean Lenning that you've seen from the 2007 U.S. Open and from other amazing performances that Sean Lenning has had in recent years.
That was an amazing Sean Lenning we saw earlier today. He's a quick starter. You'd say
Okay,
Nadi Alvarado is a slow starter.
13
Sean Lenning's the opposite
serving
of that.
2.
You hope that Sean can burn out when he's out there on the court,
Short.
so you try to engage him in rallies. It's kind of the
Second
opposite of
serve.
Nadi Alvarado, where you want to go out there and try to attack him. But Nadi Alvarado was absolutely, you know, slow once again today, and Sean was absolutely fast. That's why these games are so important and
2
so
serving
interesting.
13.
I actually expected Nadi to start a little bit slower today, but I thought he started and played extremely well throughout the entire match.
And Alan Garner misses another shot.
This, Dave, for Alan Garner is almost like a professional golfer going out there and shooting
13
84.
serving 2.
That's the kind of performance that he's having right now. And Charlie Shanks going for the right shot there, the drive straight back down the right wall. Alan Garner playing the corner kill, but he comes up just a little
13.
bit short there.
Score here is 2
Short.
to 13. Alan Garner representing the Salt Lake City Aces versus the Tucson
Second serve.
Gunslinger of Charlie Shanks. And I believe with the team standings that the Gunslingers are doing pretty good right now.
And I really don't understand how Fred Lewis can say that Alan Garner has a good serve. He hasn't hit one unreturned serve throughout this
13
entire
serving
match.
2.
Charlie Shanks in that first game, Dave, hit
13-2.
3 unreturned serves. This game, I believe he's got close to 5.
Two serving 13.
And finally, Alan Garner gets on the board with his first unreturned serve of the match. A beautiful
3 serving
natural
13.
behind himself to the left.
Score here is 3 to 13 and a short call
Thought it
from
was
Alan
good.
Garner. And we have another guest in the booth here, mystery guest, Peter.
Bill?
Peter Derricks.
Both
Peter,
disagree.
you played handball
Second
for
serve.
many years and now you stopped.
I stopped 30 years ago.
But what does it feel like to watch these players out here playing in this race
I hate to
championship?
tell you the analogy I was thinking about, but it brings back some great memories. I met my wife on that very first court 35
13
years ago
serving
when she
3.
was playing racquetball, and I kicked her out because it was my time to have it
Short.
at the handball court. So I loved the game,
Second.
but now I'm kind of just stuck to golf. I play golf every day. I live in the desert in the wintertime and up here in the summertime. But this is the first time I've watched this fabulous sport in years, and it just brings, I've got a front row seat, and I in the corner watching him try and dig all
Three
those
serving
shots out.
How do you
13.
like seeing this on the high definition monitors that we have here in
It's
this broadcast
awesome. Where
booth?
can I watch this at home? I mean, what network are we on?
We're at racefor8.com.
At what?
Race for
Oh,
8.
so we're streaming it.
Yeah, streaming it live right now.
Very cool.
And it comes in just like this. And just to make a
13
golf analogy
serving
for you
3.
here, the blonde bombshell Alan Garner is basically out here a pro golfer shooting 84. This is the equivalent.
In the court, yeah. Right.
That's the
Not-
kind of day he's
No,
having.
I can tell that. He's a better
3
player than
serving
this, isn't he?
13.
Alan has
One of
been
the
ranked
best.
as high as number 1, and you know, we all lose matches, but I've never seen Alan dominated the way he is today.
Right.
Just does not seem to have,
Right.
and he's playing against a guy that's really hungry. And as you know, that combination is not good for
Oh,
a guy
no.
that's a little bit flat.
No, absolutely. Well, this Irish fellow, what's his name?
Charlie Shanks.
Yeah, Charlie Shanks. Of course, he looks to me to be a little less in weight than does the other fellow, but and he's hitting the ball better. So I guess the defensive part of this game where he's falling down, where Garner's falling down, is showing, because this is the first time I've seen him, and it doesn't look to be as good of a player, but you say he is.
Well, actually, Alan Garner has a winning lifetime record against Charlie, and the only time he'd lost to him was this season. He's lost to
Really?
him twice. Up until this season, he'd beaten him 4 times to none. So this season, they're 2-1 against one another. And Charlie, I think, has improved his game a little bit, though. It's
Oh,
dedicated himself. He actually moved here from Ireland to be part of this professional Race for 8 Pro Handball Tour.
when I played, it was Paul Haber, Paul Morlos, Freddie Lewis.
Okay, resume play.
Gordy Pfeiffer, and those
3
guys.
serving
Naughty-
13.
Yeah, and somebody said, "Do these guys play better?" I don't know if they play better or not. I mean, those guys could. The pace of the ball was so amazing to me. How a serve can go like 4 inches off the floor and still clear the short line is amazing.
4 serving
Well,
13.
the great John Bike, who was just in the booth, said, you know, there's been about 7
Short.
different handballs since that time, and the handballs are evolving, the players are
Rubber.
evolving with new weight techniques and all that
Second
stuff.
serve.
It's just so hard to compare, you know, black and white to color, because there's a lot of people out there that say, you know, black and white is a true
Hold it.
representation of what images should look like, and color is, you know, altered with, you know, if you're into
4 serving
taking
13.
photography, you can see that you can alter color a little bit more and make it look more plastic, and so that's why some people prefer the black and white. But you know, it's hard to compare Jimmy Jacobs to an Alan Garner or a Charlie Shanks.
I actually don't find it hard to compare. I look at it linearly.
5
If you
serving
keep
13.
going down the line, you'll see that Alan Garner has lost to Dave Chapman. Dave Chapman, in his prime, had lost to John Bike. John Bike had lost to Nadi Alvarado Sr. Nadi Sr. at one time had lost to Fred Lewis. Fred Lewis had lost to Paul Haber, and you connect the dots, you can see that all these guys are right there in that same ballpark.
Well, I look at the other way, Peter. I say that Paul Haber beat Fred Lewis. Fred Lewis beat Nadi Alvarado Sr. Nadi Alvarado Sr. You know, beat Fred Lewis, who then defeated John Bike, and then Dave Chapman took over, and then Paul Brady. So I'm looking
Right.
at the other way, but you know, how do you compare?
It's like comparing golfers. You know, you can say, okay, look at all the great equipment they have today. They've got the metal drivers opposed to the, you know, the wood ones that they had years ago and whatever. And some of these soft-faced or these open-faced irons hit the ball more square and more forgiving. But these guys are all such fabulous athletes. Can move around that short court, get out of people's way, hit shots like that.
1
Hit a
minute
kill shot
timeout,
from your
Charlie.
ear. I mean, or a pinch shot, sidewall, front wall rollout, just unbelievable.
I think all that equipment in golf actually helps more the 18 to 25 handicapper more than it does the pros. The pros are going to go out there and hit their shots
They hit the blades
regardless
anyway.
of whether they're playing with persimmon or
You're right.
titanium.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
But nonetheless, I mean, Nicholas would be able to play with Tiger, who'd be able to play with McIlroy. I mean,
Right.
these guys are all phenomenal.
Right. So this thing tees up tomorrow at
noon.
Yeah.
At noon. Tell me about your experience here at the Washington Athletic Club and how they supported top handball, actually all handball. But, you know, I know that you stopped playing handballs. We look at the great Glenn Carden,
Oh yeah.
center court here.
I remember Glenn. Yep.
But we're looking at it from the standpoint that you're a guy that used to play here a lot. Now
Yeah.
you've
I'll be
retired.
70 years old next week, and I My dad bought me a membership here when I was 21 years, no, 20
Wow.
years old. So I joined here 50 years ago, and I was a weightlifter then. I went into weightlifting, went from 165 to 225 pounds, and couldn't do much with it. I'd golfed all my life because my family was a golfing thing. So about 5 or 6 years, or 3 or 4 years maybe after I joined here, I started playing handball, and I went down from 225 to about 190. And fell in love with the game, and still supplemented my workouts with the weight room, but fell in love with the game, but fell apart at the joints. So basically, I left here about 25 years ago. Went over to the east side of Seattle in the Mercer Island area, and joined the Bellevue Athletic Club, where I continued doing my working out. But this game took such a toll on my arthritic shoulders and everything else. What a great sport, though. One of my most favorite times was after I was done playing, drinking some Budweisers and watching the other guys play behind the glass. That was a good time, telling stories.
That's actually some of the best time. And it's interesting that you bring that up because we've been talking about that sort of theme, that certain players like to play because they're competitive, but then you see there's certain class of players that also like just to be around the social environment of handball.
Yeah, it's a mixture. It's a mixture. The competitive part of this game can't help but bring that out in you.
You know, we asked the players on interviews before the matches started what motivates you to play. All of the players except for Charlie actually mentioned something about the social environment first. Charlie talks about the fact that he loves the game. That ball skipped in, Dave.
I thought there was about 6 skip-ins in the last match. None of them called, so I am not able to judge that.
Not on
that ball skipped right there. The referee's not going to overturn this with his line judges, but that ball definitely skipped.
Did you think that any serves skipped in the last match that you watched?
Well, there was one big one that skipped that was not called.
Is there any way at all you
One
can
agrees
watch
and one
this
disagrees.
after the match is over?
Absolutely, yes, on demand.
On demand.
You have to be a member of the organization, Peter.
Oh my gosh.
And once you're a member, you can watch all the matches. There it is. Charlie Shanks takes down Alan Garner and wins this second game and the match. And that closes out the race for 8. Peter, you can actually become a member at thehandballstore.com. Or you can just throw me $20 right now and I can take care of it. That's how it works. Yeah, I'll get you all the videos. Plus another 500 on top of that. Yeah, 500 videos, not money.
Okay.
$20, a great
Is that
Fred
Freddie
Lewis.
Lewis? Oh, for God's sake. Hi, Freddie. Well, you don't know me, but I watched you. I was just do you? Haber and all the boys you used to play with. How are you? How old are you now? Oh, you're just still a kid.
We are going to wrap this up, Dave. It's been a great day of handball here at the Race for 8. We want to thank John Bike for giving us the stats for this game number 2 against Charlie Shanks, who then took down Alan Garner. So tomorrow as we look at the matchups, oh, you don't have your headset on. Tomorrow as we look at the matchups, we're going to have Luis Moreno, the number 1 seed, versus Charlie Shanks, and then Sean Lenning is going to go up against Nadi Alvarado Jr. Okay, that's why I always have a headset for you. That'll be tomorrow's semifinal matchups. We're going to take a extended timeout until 12 o'clock tomorrow Pacific time. Tell all of your friends to tune in to the Players' Championship. Both statistically, Nadi Alvarado is out of the race event, but Sean Lenning and Luis Moreno still could win the race championship. Luis Moreno has a little bit more chance than Sean Lenning does. We're going to take a break. We're going to say goodbye for tonight. We'll have more action tomorrow. Stick around here at racefor8.com. Good night.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Our non-toxic, biodegradable, all-purpose cleaner works great for cleaning. Thank you. Non-toxic, biodegradable, Simple Green. It's great for cleaning.
It's time to join forces. Get energized. And fuel up right. Because starting today, every kid in America has a mission. the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.